Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhavatapa Pranashinne, Ananda Ghanamurtaye, Jnana Bhakti Pradayinne, Matastubhyam Namo Namaha. Jai Ma. Yeah, last time I was telling you about, in the last video, that we decided to go to Nasik. But before that, let me tell you, to paint the colors into Gherwa was a very difficult job. Firstly, I didn't know what to do, so I had to call up a couple of people who knew how to paint, how to color it. So certain brahmacharis I called up who were in charge of sadhus. So they would be, coloring their clothes and all that. So they told me you have to get the Gheru Mati and then you have to dip all your clothes in the thing and soak it for a little bit. And then you take it out and drip dry, So it took me like 7 days to do all that because every time I was soaking it in, it wouldn't catch the color. So मैं खुद गेरुआ हो गई थी, मेरा पूरा बदन गेरुआ हो गया था, सब माटी उड़ उड़ के मेरे पे, I was like completely drenched in that geru, the mati color, तो मैं रंग गई. So it took me 7 days, then I dried the clothes and all that, but it's kacha mati, you see, so the color comes off every time you wash the clothes. And Swamiji had told me, Nirvananji, that every time don't do it, it's a very tedious job. So the first time, because it is your day of your mantra and actual changing over to your clothes, the Gerua clothes, that you need to do it only on that day. After that, just go to any shop and वहाँ से कोई भी Gerua कपड़ा सब उठा के अपने कपड़े बनवा लेना. So I said, ठीक है, thank God, that I don't have to paint it every time, color it every time. So that's one thing I had forgotten to tell you. Okay, so now we planned this trip to go to Nasik. So first I went to Pune and Kailash drove me in his car. So, the journey was covered by Kailash and Ajay, so they were taking turns driving me. And Tai and I were sitting at the back and they were driving, both of them. So they were taking turns, Finally, we reached Nasik and we checked into a hotel. Now, I had to get up very early, so I told them, the boys, because they have a habit of sleeping till late, So I said, please get up on time. We need to be over there at 3:45 on the dot. And the previous day when we reached Nasik, there was a local Ma's devotees, local people who were staying over there, and they are very old Ma devotees. So they took us to the Godavari to show us where I would have to go to do my formal ceremony. So I said, okay, so they showed me the river. And the next day was, I think, Ram Navami or something, the day that I had decided. I'm not very sure because bang opposite the Godavari river where I was to go in the morning was a huge Ram temple. And they had, the main person of the temple, the pujari of the temple, the main head, was also with us. And I later went to his house for bhiksha, because after sannyas you have to take bhiksha, which I will tell you as I proceed. So they introduced me to everybody and they said, here is the place and do you want us to come in the morning with you? I said, no, I have a Kailash and Ajay and Tai and there was one other devotee also who was with us. So there was a whole battalion of people. See how Ma plans everything. First, I need to tell you that. So many forces came together to help me on this journey, so many of them. Swami Nirvananji, Ashok Baba, Swami Nirvananji, of course, Bhaskaranji was the one who had done it. My mother was supporting me and all my Guru Bhais were with me, So when the time comes, all the forces come and help you, So that's what happened to me. So we checked into this hotel. Early morning, I couldn't sleep whole night. Obviously, I was awake whole night. My eyes were all swollen in the morning, red, swollen, because I was so tense and so nervous. It was a huge day, huge day. So in the morning, we got up and I wore my white clothes, took the Gerwa. Tai was holding my Gerwa clothes and we went to the Godavari. 3:45 on the dot, I entered the river and I had taken a mug and everything with me because I said, in case I can't go chest deep into the water, then I will just take a mug and go on pouring on my head and go on chanting my mantras, It is such an exhilarating moment when you enter the river and you are chest deep in water. and you look at the skies and you start your mantras, it is mind-boggling, mind-boggling. I really felt at that time I had entered a different world, a different dimension completely. It was really something that only when you experience it can you talk about it, or even can't talk about it because there are no words to describe. But when you experience it, that's the time you really know what this is all about, So I entered and I started chanting. My hands were raised to the sky and I started chanting. And Tai was standing there with a chadar, she to cover me, to protect me, from people seeing me. So she had spread out a chadar so nobody could see me. And my friends were standing very far away and they were clicking photographs, okay? So they were told specifically that when I change my clothes, nobody will be around. So they said, yes, of course. So when the ceremony was going on, they were clicking. So I have a lot of photographs of those, that moment. Okay, the ceremony got over. And then finally, I had to cut my hair also. So I had taken a pair of scissors also. So I started clipping my hair in the water because Swami ji had told me कि अपने बाल काट लेना. बोले तुम मुंडन करवाओगी? So I said हाँ, अगर मुझे ज़रूरत है तो मैं करवाऊंगी, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं. तो बोले क्यों कराओगी, तुम्हारे इतने अच्छे बाल है, थोड़े थोड़े लेके स्निप करके थोड़े थोड़े काट लेगा. I said ठीक है. Even Swami Nirgunanand ji said we generally do the mundan, but where have I done the mundan, or where did Nirvanand ji do the mundan? So you just take little hair, just snip it off. You got such lovely hair, why should you cut it? I said okay, whatever you people say, because I don't know anything, So I had taken the pair of scissors and I had chopped off my hair a little bit, Later I got the mundan done after that, So yeah, that got over. I came out of the water, I took out my clothes, everything, I just took it all off. And the white clothes, when I was doing the pravaha in the river, again, exhilarating moment for me, when my clothes were just going by in the stream, the white clothes. And I was just looking at it and I said, this life is over, And then Tai gave me my gherua and she put them on me. And we had a towel with us. So she wiped me and put on the clothes for me. And I wore the gherua. It was a different feeling. The first time when you put on the gherua, it's a completely different feeling that you get. It's like, I cannot describe it, You just feel so different. And I put on the clothes, then we all went, I said, we have to do pranam in the Ram Mandir. So we went towards. Now see, because it was a very big, auspicious day, kuch festival tha. The entire gaon and people, pilgrims from आजू-बाजू के गांव से भी बहुत सारे लोग आए थे. Lot of devotees were there for the Ram Mandir. So, I said we'll have to wait in the queue because there's so much crowd, there was no space to move and go towards the mandir. You won't believe what happened. Again, Ma's grace. They all moved away when I was entering. There are so many sadhus who come. There are so many sannyasis who come to do pranam. It's not something that they haven't seen, the crowd, the people. But they were just, it's like they just moved away and gave me a pathway to go straight into the mandir. And I said, why would they move away from me? I'm a nobody. Why would they move away? But they all moved away and gave me a thing, and it was nothing like I had to stand in queue. And I went straight to the mandir inside. I did pranam and all of us went together, did pranam. And when I was coming out, this entire crowd, they just fell down there on the ground and sashtang pranam kar rahe hain mujhe. They just started prostrating to me. And I said, hey, what is happening here? And they went on doing that, one after the other. I'm walking and they're all doing that. I said, this is something else. Again, Ma's grace. How is this possible? All that went on. I came out. I was still in a high, complete high. And then I had my begging bowl, when you go for alms, भिक्षा लेने जब जाते हैं तो वो bowl मेरे साथ था, मैं ले गई थी साथ में, because I knew that the first day I had to go for bhiksha. I could not eat my food without asking for bhiksha. So in the morning, early hours of the morning, I went to this pujari's house, this Brahmin pujari, and I knocked on his door, and we were all there, all my people who were accompanying me, they were standing behind. And I knocked on the door and he opened the door and I had to say Bhikshan Dehi, So he immediately took me inside, took me upstairs on the first floor or something, made me sit on a chair, and lots of people were taking photographs and whatever. So he got me a whole, bowl of fruits and things and gave me bhiksha, So, and he did the puja and all that. And everybody did pranam or whatever. Then from there, the local family, who was helping me, the local people, mass devotees, they said, "Hamare ghar mein prasad grahan karne aayiye, come to our house for the prasad." So I said, okay, and all of us went to their house, and the way they did a welcome was again unbelievable. They were all in silk clothes, silk dhotis and everything. The men were like that, and the ladies were also there. And as soon as I entered, they started doing pranam to me, all of them. I was not used to this, And I said, "What are you people doing?" So they said, "Nahi Swamiji, today is a very big day. And you are a Swami and you have entered our house and आपके चरण हमारे घर में पड़े हैं, ये बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है." I said, "मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं हूँ, अभी तो just हुआ है मेरा, मैं कौन हूँ पता नहीं है मुझे." तो बोले, नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता है. So they had made lovely food, lovely prasad. Puran Poli, which is a typical Maharashtrian thing, which Gujaratis also make. See, I'm running the food channel. You people, if you're interested, please see all the recipes, that I'm making. It's all Sattvic food, and it has, people might be wondering how come I'm doing cooking, So why a cooking channel? Because it's very important to know what is Sattvic food. And everybody should be going on Sattvic food. It's a different feeling when you do Sattvic food. No onion, no garlic, all that. It's a different feel you get, You feel like you're pure. So that's very important. So you must see all these things. Why am I doing it? I'm doing it for you guys, You wanted recipes and I'm doing it. So do have a look, I'm seeing that as of now, there are very few people who are really interested, because I don't know how many people are interested in cooking, So, but even if you're not interested, learn. It's high time you people learn, So anyway, so we had prasad over there. They gave me a lot of prasad also, a lot of gifts and things like that. And after that, we went back to the hotel, checked out, and I went to the market, Nasik market, to see if they had any Gerua fabrics. I did find some over there, which I picked up. And then we went back to the hotel. Next morning, we drove back to Pune. And I called up Swami Nirgunanandji and I said, "It's all over." He says, "Congratulations, congratulations." And then the first thing I did with Swami Nirvananji had told me, that "Jaise hi ho jaye, you come to the ashram and I will bless you." So he said, I said, "Yes, of course, the first thing I will do is come to your house, to the ashram." So we drove down to Pune. It was, when we were driving down to Pune, it was pretty late, because शाम को हम लोग निकले थे. तो रास्ते में, as we were driving down, Ashok Baba called up. He was in the house and Tai was with me. And he said, "Where have you reached?" I said, we are on the way. It's still going to take time. Maybe it'll be 11 in the night by the time we reach Pune. So maybe I'll come tomorrow. He says, no, you have to come to my place first thing. I said, "Really?" So I said, "It'll be very late, So he said, "Doesn't matter, I'm waiting for you. So first thing you come, you will be coming to drop Tai. So you come upstairs, I'm waiting for you." I said, "Fine, I'll come." So the first thing we did is drove down to Baba's place. Now, as soon as we reached Baba's place, I went upstairs. He's on the first floor. It's his, the whole bungalow is his, the building. So I went on the first floor. He immediately opened the door and I went there to do pranam to him, and he just stepped back. I said, "What are you doing?" So he says, "Namo Narayan, Namo Narayan, Namo Narayan. From today onwards, you cannot do pranam to anybody." I said, "Really?" He said, "You are a sannyasi. I have to do pranam to you." I said, No, that is not on. He said, "Yes, I have to do it to you." So he bent down, touched my feet and did pranam and said, "Namo Narayan." My God, it was like, he had given me my Shri Diksha. He was my Acharya Guru. And here is the Guru, the Acharya Guru, doing pranam to me. I said, "Baba, I'm getting very embarrassed over here." He says, "No, This is the vidhi, this is the protocol, and everybody will be doing pranam to you. So you cannot do it to anybody except Ma. Then Tai went down, then Kailash, Ajay, everybody, bari bari. I said, today is a dream world for me. I can't believe this is happening to me. And then he said, I have kept the gaddi ready for you, the asan ready for you, the Gherua asan, where I generally, when Mahatmas come to my house, I make them sit on this particular asan. So you please sit over there, Virajman ho jao. I said, oh my. So I went and sat on that asan. He went inside, got me a Gherua chadar. He gave me that as prasad. He gave me a mithai ka dabba, fruits, there were so many things he was giving me. And then he did pranam and then did puja on me. Aarti jaise kiya, and I was like dazed, completely dazed. And after that got over, then in the morning, I went to Swami Nirvananji. I entered his room and in the Gherua, and he just looks at me and he's all smiles, Then I clicked a few pictures with him. And again, I hugged him and I put my head on his shoulder and he was like patting me and saying, it's wonderful, wonderful. So now you have entered our fraternity and I'm very happy for you and congratulations and this and that. And he blessed me a lot, So I was very, very happy that day. And then from there we left after meeting Swamiji. Then I drove down to Bombay. Now I come home in that Gherua that I was wearing and I enter the house and my mother had kept a garland ready. She had told Bharti, get a garland ready and everything ready, which I wasn't aware of. And I went to her room because those days she was very sick. She couldn't walk really. She was on the chair all the time or lying down in bed. So that's why she could not accompany me to Nasik, So I entered her room and I went to do pranam to her. But before I could touch her feet and do pranam, she does pranam to me and she says, Jai Ma Swamiji, welcome home. I said, what? And she takes the garland and puts it on my neck. And she says, I'm very happy. She was choked. Tears. I had tears. And we both hugged each other. And I said Jai Ma to her. That was my journey into sannyas, which I have narrated to you. If I have forgotten, missed out anything, then I'll cover it again later. But this is how my sannyas happened. I called up Swami Nirgunanandji also. He was very happy for me. And he says, now you're one of us, So that was that, which I have narrated to you. And I will see you next time. Jai Ma. Om Bhavatapa Pranashinne Ananda Ghanamurtaye Jnana Bhakti Pradayine Matastubhyam Namo Namaha. Jai Ma, Jai Ma.